All right, let's jump right into this explainer. I want you to picture yourself in the passenger seat of a car. You're on a 120-mile road trip. You know, scenery's just blurring by outside the window, you're cruising down the highway, maybe listening to some music, and occasionally you glance over at the dashboard. You watch that speedometer needle bounce around as the driver navigates traffic, slows down for some construction, and then speeds back up on the open road. It's a perfectly normal, totally mundane experience. But hidden right there, literally right there in the movement of that vehicle and the numbers on that dashboard is a profoundly beautiful mathematical truth. So today we're going to unpack the secret life of your speedometer. And by the end of this, I promise you, you're going to see everyday motion in a completely different light.
So let's set up our scenario. Imagine that a 120-mile trip took you exactly 2 hours. Basic math tells us your average speed was 60 miles per hour, right? But here's the deeper question I really want you to consider. If you know your average speed was 60 miles per hour, did the car's speedometer actually strike that precise number at any specific exact moment? I mean, think about it. Is it possible that you just drove 55 miles per hour for the first half and then 65 for the second half, meaning you perfectly averaged 60 without the needle ever actually resting exactly on the 60 mark? Or maybe you fluctuated wildly, between 40 and 80. Does hitting an average actually guarantee an exact instant in reality?
To figure this out, we kind of need to build a bridge from everyday driving to the official vocabulary of calculus. In the real world, you have your average speed for the whole trip, and you have your instantaneous speed at any given millisecond. Now, in the language of calculus, that everyday average speed, that translates to the average rate of change over an interval, and that split-second instantaneous speed translates to your instantaneous rate of change. By looking at these terms side by side, we can start to unlock a rule that doesn't just apply to cars, but actually describes the fundamental nature of change itself.
And that brings us to the mathematical solution. It's called the Mean Value Theorem, and it is absolutely the cornerstone concept of our explainer today. It essentially states that for a function that is continuous and differentiable over an interval, there is at least one point where the instantaneous rate of change exactly equals the average rate of change. Now, I know, terms like continuous and differentiable can sound a bit dense or academic, but they're really just strict mathematical prerequisites required to guarantee this rule works. They're setting up the rules of reality. Continuous simply means there are no breaks in the timeline or the path, and differentiable just means the changes happen smoothly without any impossible jagged spikes. So if those two conditions are met, the theorem promises us a specific magical point in time.
Here's why this actually works in the real world. Think about it. Cars don't magically teleport. If you want to accelerate from 40 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour, your car can't simply vanish at 40 and then reappear at 70, right? The laws of physics dictate smooth, continuous motion. You are literally forced by the nature of reality to pass through 41, 42, 55.7, and every single other microscopic decimal value in between. That is the intuition of smoothness. Speeds just cannot jump instantly. And because your trip was continuous, and because your speed changed in a smooth, differentiable way, you were completely bound by the constraints of this theorem.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that because of the undeniable smoothness of realistic motion, we are guaranteed, 100% guaranteed, that the exact instantaneous speed matched our 60 mile per hour average at some point on that drive. The car's instantaneous speed must have matched that average speed at least once somewhere along the journey. Now, you might have hit exactly 60 a dozen times as you sped up and slowed down in traffic. Or hey, if you used cruise control, you might have been at exactly 60 for the entire 2 hours. But the absolute minimum guarantee, the ironclad promise of the mean value theorem, is that at some specific, undeniable moment, that needle was pointing dead center at 60. The instantaneous rate perfectly matched the average rate. And honestly, here's where the math feels almost like a superpower. You don't even need to look at the speedometer to prove it happened. We can establish this mathematical truth about that specific instant during the trip without having to directly measure the dashboard instrument for the entire 2 hours. We don't need a dashcam video recording, we don't need an eyewitness. Simply by knowing the starting point, the ending point, the total time, and the fact that a car moves smoothly through space, calculus allows us to deduce a hidden truth about a very specific moment in time. And this theorem absolutely validates its real-world power. For instance, it allows traffic checkpoints to infer speed limit violations based entirely on average times. It also acts as the foundational logic for major calculus proofs. Think about those point-to-point speed camera systems you see on modern highways. They don't just measure your speed at a single location anymore. A camera reads your license plate at point A, and then another one reads it at point B, miles down the road.
If the speed limit is 65 and the system calculates that your average speed between those 2 points was 80 miles per hour, well, they don't need a radar gun to prove you were speeding. The mean value theorem literally proves that you must have been going exactly 80 miles per hour at least once during that stretch, which means you undeniably broke the law. But it's not just about handing out speeding tickets. This exact same logic is what mathematicians use to prove how derivatives behave and to map out the complex shapes of function graphs. It's really the whole shebang when it comes to the building blocks of advanced mathematics.
So the mean value theorem governs so much of our daily reality, right? From the basic physics of driving all the way up to the highest levels of theoretical math. But it also leaves us perfectly primed to explore its simpler, special counterpart, which is known as Rolle's theorem, in our next explainer. Before we wrap off, though, I want to leave you with a question to ponder based on everything we've looked at today. If a mathematical theorem guarantees that our average over a long period demands a perfectly matching reality at an exact, instantaneous moment, where else in your life are you focusing only on the final average and completely missing the inevitable, exact moments that actually made it up?